Well, not perfect because it's not 9, but good morning. And so what we'll do, we will ask for roll call to bring our Sewage and Water Board meeting to the start.
Mayor Cantrell,
Present?
Councilmember King, Director Barnes,
Here. Okay,
Director Duplessis,
okay. Present.
Director Kennedy,
Here.
Director Cole,
Present.
Director Pacho,
Here.
Director Howard. Here. Director Scholas,
Here.
Director Anthrop.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Ms. Yolanda. What I will do to start our meeting, if I would ask for a motion to approve minutes. We have two sets that we do need to approve. One dated April 22, 2025, and April 23rd, 2025. Has to do also with our selection process. So with that, we can do it in global, Ms. Yolanda? So we need a motion to approve. It's been moved by Director Pacho,
Second.
seconded by Director Duplessis. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, hearing none, we have officially adopted the minutes from April 22 and 23, 2025. And so at this time, ma'am,
We need the.
oh, from the 16th, that's right. That was our actual board meeting. So with that, I have to do this separate. I couldn't do that in global. So I'll need another motion. Now, this is to approve the minutes from our last meeting, April 16, 2025, official board meeting.
So moved.
It's, okay, it's been moved by Director Scholas. It's been seconded by Director Barnes. Any questions? Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, so we've officially adopted our minutes from April 16, 2025. So at this time, I would like to ask for committee reports. We'll start with ad hoc.
Thank you. The Ad hoc Board of Directors Committee met on Monday, May 5th, 2025, in the Executive Boardroom. The meeting convened at approximately 10 o'clock a.m. Present were myself, Directors Howard, Pacho, Anthrop, and Cole. Absent was Director Sloss. Beginning of the meeting, I presented a motion to move to executive session. Director Anthrop moved, Director Cole second. We entered into executive session to discuss the character, professional competence, and fitness of interim executive director appointee Imran Spooner, P.E. Pursuant to revised statute 4214A1, I presented a motion to exit executive session. Director Anthrop moved, Director Howard seconded, the motion carried. The one action item, asked for a motion to set the salary for interim executive director Ron Spooner at $325,000. Director Cole moved, Director Anthrop seconded, the motion carried. There was no public comment. Director Anthrop acknowledged he's thrilled that a well-qualified candidate was selected for the utility. However, there was a concern expressed regarding the lack of opportunity to participate in discussions prior to the vote. Looking ahead, Director Anthrop expects to meet Mr. Heyman and is interested in understanding how he will demonstrate his value, particularly concerning his salary to the utility. Director Anthrop continued mentioning Mr. Heyman will become the third highest paid public water utility executive in the country, in a city where nearly a quarter of residents live in poverty, which is the highest rate among the 50 largest metropolitan areas in the nation. Additionally, there are employees earning as much as $35,000 per year. Director Anthrop expressed he intends to prioritize the staff by addressing these disparities, ensuring that their contributions are valued equally to those of Mr. Heyman. Being there is no further business to come before the ad hoc committee, Director Cole moved to adjourn. Director Pacho seconded. The motion carried. The meeting was adjourned at approximately 10:23 a.m.
Thank you very much for that. We will need a motion to adopt and accept the report presented by the ad hoc committee.
So moved.
It's been we have a motion, Director Barnes. It's been seconded by Director Howard. Any questions? Discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Okay, the ad hoc committee report adopted, and thank you very much. We're going to move now to audit.
Thank you. The Audit Committee met on Tuesday, May 13th, 2025, in the Executive Boardroom. The meeting convened at approximately 9:02 a.m. Present with myself, Director Cole, Director Barnes, Director Antrim, absent Director Duplessis. Presentation items were from Ann Wilson of Environmental Affairs, presented the Municipal Water Pollution Prevention Audit Report. She provided a comprehensive review through a slideshow and presentation for the committee, focusing on both the West and East Bank water treatment plants. She covered the 7 areas of the treatment plant, explained the scoring system, and discussed the sewer sludge. While the goal to achieve the lowest score, the utility received 110 points for the West Bank and 155 points for the East Bank. Additional highlights from the report included a comparison of 2024 and 2023 details, and a case study was also presented to the committee. The committee discussed alternatives and suggestions for improving the process for the utility. Presentation item B was the Chief Audit Executive Ed Sutherland's report. He presented the second quarter internal audit update. This offered insight with specific focus on the plumbing division. Audit included a report through March 7th. Former occupational fraud identified in 2021. Restitution has been paid, permitting an inspection moved to one stop for October 2023. The review included the status of the plumbing division, evaluated the adequacy and effectiveness of internal controls surrounding the licensing, permitting, inspection, record-keeping activities performed by the plumbing division. Director Anthrop expressed concerns about streamlining the process of improving the management of One Stop around water cards and the procedures with licensed master plumbers. There were 2 action items that were approved. Resolution R-077-2025, which was the environmental audit for the East Bank Treatment Plant, and Resolution R-78-2025, which is the environmental audit for the West Bank Treatment Plant. There were no public comments, and the adjournment was done at 9:54 a.m.
Very good and very thorough, and thank you for that. So we need a motion to approve the audit committee report as presented by Director Scholas.
Second.
It's been moved by Director Cole, seconded by Director Duplessis. Any questions?
I will just note quickly, in almost all the minutes this month, my name is misspelled. I don't think we need to make a motion, but I just want to note it for the record.
Okay,
There's
well-
no H in my last name.
Very good. You know, I get upset when it's a lowercase t, so I get it. So, but we want to make sure it's documented appropriately. Okay, so it's been moved, it's been seconded. We will correct the name, the spelling. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Okay, hearing none, we've officially adopted audit. We're going to move now to pension committee, and Director Kennedy.
Thank you. The Pension Committee met on Tuesday, May 13th, 2025, in the Executive Boardroom. The meeting convened at approximately 10:15 a.m. Present were myself, Directors Pacho, Director Scholas, Director Anthrop, Mr. Macbull, Mr. Joseph, Mrs. Johnsey, and Ms. Shine. Absent, Councilmember King. We had presentation item from Kwaku Obed of Marquette and Associates. He provided an update on the Executive Summary Investment Report for March 2025, the first quarter market environment. Mr. Obed covered recent market turmoil from worldwide tariff discussions and various impacts of a trade war on the macroeconomy, including jobs, consumer spending, and interest rates. There was a performance update for the diversified composite strategy to achieve long-term results for the plan. The current results were discussed for fixed income, U.S. and non-U.S. equities, real estate, infrastructure, and private equity. The pension's total composite value is $251.5 million, and one-year performance at the end of the first quarter was positive 6.2%, and 7-year performance positive 6.8%. After discussion on asset allocations and questions from Pension Committee members, Mr. Obed reiterated the importance of the long-term investment horizon, disciplined asset allocation of plan investments as determined by the plan's investment policy statement, and tracking managers closely to the benchmark guidelines which have been established for each asset class. Additional meetings are planned to closely monitor the additional volatility created by existing trade war and to complete the final investment manager searches and recommendations for real estate and infrastructure asset classes. There were information items presented. There was no public comment. Being no further business for the pension committee, asked for a motion to adjourn. Trustee Joseph accepted, moved. Director Pacho seconded. The motion carried. The meeting was adjourned at approximately 11:20 a.m.
Thank you very much for the Pension Committee's report. And we do need a motion to approve as presented.
So moved.
Okay, it's been moved by Director Scholas. It's been seconded by Director Pacho. Any questions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Okay, so we've adopted our pension committee, and we'll move now into finance and also operations that will be covered by Director Howard.
All right, I'll start with finance. The Finance Administration Committee met on Wednesday, May 14th in the Executive Boardroom. Meeting convened at approximately 9:02 a.m. Present were Directors Howard, Pacho, and Barnes. Absent was Director Kennedy. The first item was Gray Lewis, the Chief Financial Officer, gave a presentation updating us on the March 2025 preliminary financial results and liquidity position. March revenues were $17.4 million below budget. 17.4 million below, and that was below budget. Operating expenses were well below the conservatively set budget. Susanna Kirby, the Chief Customer Service Officer, gave a presentation on the restructuring underway in customer service / revenue to drive initiatives relating to smart meter delinquency. Additional resources have been added to the Cogsdale training and the development of manual procedures. Action lists have been provided to staff, and Protiviti Government Services has come in as to help. Zach Unger, the director, and Sharon Chung, the senior consultant of Protiviti, presented on their phase 1 involvement in the accounts receivable project over the last several months. And they covered the work stream objectives, key accomplishments, and next steps. It also discussed several paths to execute improvements and train staff. And further information on a phase 2 proposal will be shared later with management. The action items were, there was adoption of a resolution for armed security guards at the board, and then the general superintendent's report included contract award renewals, contract amendments, contract change orders by ratification, and final acceptance. They were all approved for going on to the board. There were no information items or information items were received, no public comment. The meeting was adjourned at 9:48.
Thank you very much. And I know we have to adopt them separately, but you can roll right into it if you don't mind.
I'm asking that these be deferred because they need some work. They're the operations committee.
Both of the reports?
No, just the operations committee.
Oh, got it. Okay, so then let's adopt the finance committee. Okay, so we need a motion to approve the finance report as presented.
So moved.
Okay, it's been moved by Director Barnes
Second.
and seconded by Director Anthrop. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Okay, we've officially adopted the Finance Committee report. Thank you, Director Howard. Do you want to ask for deferral?
Yes, I'd like to ask for a deferral on the operations committee minutes.
Okay, so there's a motion to defer.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Director Kennedy, second by Director Scholas. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? We have deferred the Operations Committee report. We'll now move to the Executive Director's report, welcoming officially as our interim, Mr. Ron Spooner. Thank you so much for coming out of retirement at this time. To ensure that the Sewerage and Water Board continues to remain focused, and as we reaffirm, our commitment to resilience and all of the projects, prioritizations that we've made, but also in preparation for hurricane season. I did not want to steal your thunder because you have been absolutely able to hit the ground running and making sure all cylinders are moving relative to our priorities. We will be welcoming in late July, Randy Heyman. But at that time, we'll be able to invite him in and move forward under his leadership. More to come on that. So on today, Mr. Spooner, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, for the positive comments, and also thank you to the Board of Directors. I did come out of retirement. I was humbled in retirement, but it's good to be back to the Sewage and Water Board. As I've informed everyone, I'm a public servant, so if there's any help needed on the public side, that's why I'm here to do that. And also like to thank the employees. So I've had a very warm welcome to all of the employees since I've been back. So that's, I've always said the employees, staff is the boots on the ground. That's what makes things happen. So quickly going over, within the executive report, Madam Mayor and the Board of Directors, I'll make sure I can get this clicker right. Okay, too far, there we go. So the power complex, the power complex is advancing. It's anticipated to come online the summer of 2025, and that anticipation will be a phased approach. That phased approach is relative to the static frequency converters, which I'll go in a little bit further, but as you can see, all of our major equipment has been delivered on-site, installed relative to our Turbine 7, an additional turbine similar to Turbine 6, our 3 static frequency converters, as well as the auxiliary equipment. The water line is completed, which is an important milestone because now we have fire protection around that site. We're finalizing, and we say we have ongoing connections with Entergy. That's between the Entergy substation and the Sewage and Water Board side of the fence, which is the power complex. That is ongoing. I've learned last week we've started with the controls, and we're installing medium voltage cables, so we're on our way. Commissioning is on our way. Commissioning the various pieces of equipment is in the queue. And then last, I'd like to say that we submitted a formal application to DNR via Department of Energy for $34 million. That will provide us additional funding for the phase 2, which consists of the operations center, those critical connections to the 3 substations, Panola, Hamilton, and Sycamore. Panola, Hamilton, Sycamore, make sure I get all the, Panola, Claiborne, and Sycamore, and make sure I get the line right. And so that's that. But I also want to thank and give support to Madam Mayor, yourself, and the Board of Directors for support in this power complex, as well as the members of the City Council, the Governor's Office, our state legislators, as well as our congressional delegation, because all of these entities are important in making this project a success. It's one team, and my motto is one team, one fight, and that's that team approach to make this project happening. So looking at the timeline quickly, as you can see, many of the items are complete, and most of those are related to the installation of the equipment within that complex. So we're in the phase of interconnecting the cables, commissioning and startup of the SFCs, and as you can see, that first SFC we're looking at bringing online the first week of July. So that would give us our first online, we connect that SFC to our central control complex so we can energize, we can use power from the Entergy substation, which is a very big milestone, followed by SFC2 as well as 3. And as you can see later on in the year, September, we'll try and get Turbine 7 on. So we're making progress. And this is all part of our overall plan that we started almost 7, 8, almost 10 years ago. And we are at this point that we're going to make progress on this power plant. Moving on into our smart metering program, which is moving along very well. As you can see, as of last week, we've completed 110,000 meters that have been installed out of the roughly 140,000 meters plus or minus. And speaking with Steve earlier this morning, got some updated information. So we're right at 112,000 meters plus or minus today that we've installed in the ground. So we are making progress. I mean, we're headed in the right direction. That 110 represents about 78% of our overall meter population that's in the ground. Based upon that data that we receive, as you can see, 31% of the customers are experiencing continuous usage since those smart meters have been in the ground. The water board staff have been proactively notifying our customers via the portal, as well as sending letters out to those customers. And based upon a review of the data, since we sent that information out, roughly we've estimated about 44% of those repairs have been, those leaks have been repaired. So this is the whole point of our smart metering program. We are headed in the right direction. So with a savings of about 69 million gallons of water, and roughly about $1 million we're estimating. Those are rough estimates on the customer bill. So as you can see, we're looking within the next 3 months to complete the installation of the smart metering. We do have some stragglers out there that we have to work with, but this is all good news where we headed.
The 69 million gallons of water, over what time frame is that?
Do you know what, Steve?
Yeah.
Okay.
That, I don't have an exact time frame. It's since the inception of the program.
Oh, okay.
Which
Cumulative.
would have been about, been
That's
about
tough
March
to-
of
Okay.
last year. So.
Okay, all right, thank you. Moving on to our drainage consolidation associated with Act 763. A few bullets that we've awarded a cleaning contract to CES with an anticipated start date around the end of the month. This will assist our crews in cleaning of the minor drainage. We've also added repairs to our various existing contracts via change orders, and to date, we have 16 contracts completed, and as well as our initial engineering management contract, that's with our consultant contract, and that is used, to review our CCTV tapes. When our vendors go out, CCTV the lines, it would review the tapes and make recommendations based upon the repairs of that associated drain line. So again, we are headed in the right direction relative to our internal efforts within the Sewage and Water Board. We have received and we're operating our 5 back trucks from the Department of Public Works, and we've cleaned a little over 54,000 linear feet of drain lines and roughly about 770 storm drain structures. And those storm drain structures consist of catch basins as well as drain manholes. What I would say the large portion of those structures consisting of catch basins, not drain manholes, but catch basins. A little less than 1 million pounds of debris was collected, and as you can see, based upon our initial assessments, 50% of the lines require cleaning, which is, that sort of makes sense, So we are, ramping up our efforts in this storm sewer minor drainage cleaning system. So again, the assessments and the cleanings are based upon the data within the city's 311 system. And then lastly, we are continuing our ongoing efforts of increasing our workforce with training and hiring staff within this newly formed department. And the goal is to get 4 new employees on board by the end of the month. So we're making progress. Going into hurricane season, as you are aware, everyone's preparing for hurricane season. Our motto is ops never stops at the Sewage and Water Board, and we prepare for hurricane season year-round. But where we are now on our ongoing partnership is with Southeast Louisiana Flood Protection Authority, that's east and west, both offices, as well as NOSEP. And it's important that with our utility partners, Entergy as well as AT&T, that we have ongoing coordination with those entities. The Sewage and Water Board, our internal hurricane preparation meeting is tomorrow, all hands on deck, so we do that tomorrow. And then our staff, we have attended Entergy New Orleans hurricane prep meeting. That was yesterday, and there's one this morning. So we are prepared for hurricane season. Looking at our preparation of our infrastructure, again, we always do monthly testing of our drainage pumps at our various pumping stations. We do, as well as testing our drainage generators. We do have an issue at one drainage pump station, which is pump station 14. That's Janky Drainage Pump Station out in New Orleans East, where we have issues with that generator, very old generator, parts very hard to come by, but we do have portable generators on site to supplement the existing generator. As always, during the hurricane season, we will rent 3 to 4 additional pumps. These are portable pumps that we can deploy at different locations, as well as 5 generators, and add to our current fleet of equipment. Our ongoing canal cleaning, that's ongoing, and currently we have roughly about 35 miles of open canals within the city metro area, mainly within New Orleans East and Algiers. Those are the largest percentages of our open canals. And our wastewater treatment plants have been tested. Generators at those plants have been tested. That plant is run by our private vendor, Veolia. One note I just want to add to the slide is that we are also in the process of acquiring additional generators. Sometime this year, we did receive funding via HMGP program for Hurricane Zeta. And then that's part of our long-term goal and our commitment to invest in more equipment permanently on staff, and then minimize what we rent on an annual basis. So that's been going on for quite some time. And the last slide, just want to inform Board of Directors that LDH grades have come out about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. We went last year at Algiers Water Treatment Plant from a B to an A, and then we did improve at our Carrollton Water Treatment Plant. We're 1 point, from what I understand, from a B. So we went from a D to, I'll say, a C plus. And we will get to that B and that A next year. And part of that is what we're doing now with improving our infrastructure at Carrollton Water Plant. Carrollton Water Plant is a very old plant. We are under administrative order, just, everyone knows that. So that's part of bringing our grade down. But the power complex will allow us to move into that other category relative to our turbines. So we are headed in the right direction relative to our water system grades. And the Board of Directors, that concludes the Executive Director's report.
Thank you very much. And we have to keep in mind that when LDH, prior to LDH doing one of its audits, this was about 5 years ago plus, we went even further and deeper in our assessment because we wanted to really have a comprehensive and a holistic look within. In doing so, that's where we learned about the cross connection. So we got dinged on the front end because of the cross connection, but we discovered it internally and put resources to improve it. So all of that is a part of the growth and the progress that we've made. So to be sustained over time. So this is good news, and it's a testament to the work that this utility has been doing. I also just wanted to add, relative to the hurricane prep, as Ron said, we stay ready. This is what we do all year round. However, not taking anything for granted, continuing to do our due diligence, going even deeper. With the changes at the state level relative to GOSEP, and what the governor has, the changes that he has made with General Freelow now being the overseer, if you will, regarding FEMA, but also just the overall management of it's under his umbrella now with General Freelow. I've had conversations with him directly. Of course, he's been embedded in our prep and our planning processes, but I just want you all to be reassured that New Orleans is in good shape. We're not losing anything, no ground, no traction. All hands remain on deck. And we have just a different level of oversight, even if you will, relative to other municipalities in the country, and of course, those who face hurricane season. And we are also fortunate to have representation on the President's Council that he's created to review FEMA. So whether it's Mr. Cooper there and even Mayor Jane Castor, who represents the mayors, I would say, across the country, but calling directly and asking for New Orleans to submit any information, anything that we're worried about to her so that it's elevated at that table. So at every level, we are represented, and I'm really proud about that. In addition, I just want to say that the utility has, and under Ron's leadership, continues to be in partnership with the Department of Public Works, City of New Orleans, relative to the JIRR grant and the work associated with that. We are in the fourth quarter, if you will, and wanting to ensure that we're moving these projects over 49 projects currently under construction with over $700 million to go. And so this is a lot of work, but it's fourth quarter, and we're going to get it done, and we're excited about that. So thank you for your leadership, and more, I know, meetings in the queue with Joe Threat and the like, just to make sure we're just on steady footing as we welcome in a new leader to transition into, but also the transition of leadership, mayoral as well as city council coming January. Director Howard.
A question. The water system grades, is that the session, the thing we went to for the session?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
And if I remember correctly, they have a component of that score where they calculate the things based on the actual number of complaints received rather than percentage. Is that?
That's a factor.
That puts us at a serious disadvantage if you're just doing number of complaints considering we have 144,000 customers and some people have 1,000. So there's a little skew a negative skew, I think, in that.
Towards us, exactly, I would agree with that, but I look at it, for me, and looking at the progress that we've made, it double downs really on the level of progress and the efforts that this utility is making. So while we're under a different kind of microscope, or it's not equitable,
It's not so much that, it's just something I think people need to be aware of because it's better than it looks.
it's true. Yeah, I agree with that. Thank you. Director Barnes?
I have a couple of comments, of course, on messaging and communications. First of all, I love the idea of ready all year round. That is great messaging and, something that I think we can promote. And I was thinking about sort of past the messaging around being prepared for hurricane season and getting towards the anniversary of Katrina. It seems like it would be really interesting to kind of promote sort of the transformation of the utility. And, so just in this presentation alone, it's like three big things: the power facility, smart meters, drainage consolidation, plus we have like strong leadership and organization. But kind of some, like almost a campaign about like the transformation over 20 years could be really powerful.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, and you will know that the planning efforts associated with K-20 community, all these different organizations, will be focusing on one component on our infrastructure, which will embody this utility and all the work that's been done in the city, and really setting the tone for where we're going. So while we're talking about 20 years, we're really also focusing on the next 20
Right.
and how we're prepared for that. And not only that, how we're bringing and have the ability to bring other communities along, even as I think about St. Louis, for example, and their technology to notify residents. We even saw this for one of the hurricanes that came out of Texas. They had to look at Whataburger, app to see where electricity was back on. So there are real lessons I know that we can teach and show and demonstrate, and so that will be a part of the plan. Thank you. All right, Ms. Yolanda.
And now we're ready for approval of corresponding resolutions. We have 16 corresponding resolutions. They are Resolution 75, 2025, Resolution 77, 2025, 78, 2025, Resolution 51, 2025, 50, 2025, 68, 2025, 52, 2025, 63, 2025, 64, 2025, 65, 2025, 66, 2025, 67, 2025, 70, 2025, 71, 2025, 72, 2025, and 42, 2025, which was previously approved at the F&A Committee in April and deferred from the April 2025 board meeting.
Okay, and these we can approve in global.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we need a motion to approve as read into the record by, our general counsel. It's been moved by Director Barnes,
Second.
seconded by Director Duplessis. Any questions?
I have a quick question on Contract 2165, that's the Claiborne Avenue Transmission Project. It's a change order. Are these, I've obviously noticed there have been some repairs already that have been made since that project was completed. So are these change orders compensating them for those repairs, or are they paying for, like,
So
were they
there-
problems that they caused, or?
No, if it's problems that the contractor causes, that's their responsibility, then obviously we're not going to pay them double work for something that they had an issue with. The repairs on the water mains were smaller 6-inch diameter lines and smaller diameter lines that were not included in the replacement of the 48-inch.
Gotcha. So this is unrelated to the sort of backup repairs that have been happening over the last month or so?
That is correct.
Okay, great.
Good question, thank you.
Thank you very much, Director. So we have a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Okay, hearing none, we've officially adopted resolutions in globalization. Ms. Yolanda.
Yes, and now we're ready for executive session, so we'll need a motion to enter into executive session for the purposes of discussing pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute 4217A2, Luann White versus Sewage and Water Board, and Ron Spooner, interim executive director.
So we have a motion. We have a second. Motion, Director Howard, seconded by Director Pacho. Going into executive session, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Hearing none, we're moving to executive session.
I'm like,
I'm
Oh,
here
I was
again.
ready.
No,
I was
that's our
ready.
lifetime
I'd
pass.
be like,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, like, I'll just pay for a packet of,
Oh, it'd be amazing.
Computer at home?
Mhm.
I'll do it for
That
you.
is,
you could work on it.
We are live.
Thank you so much. All right. May we have a motion to exit executive session?
So moved?
Moved by Director Scholler, seconded by Director Howard. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carry. We are now in regular session. Next,
I would like to defer White versus Sewage and Water Board.
we have a motion on the floor.
So move.
It's been moved by Director Scholler, seconded by Director Pacho. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Chair, I would like to amend the record. I misspoke on action item for interim executive director Ron Spooner. The record for annual salary is written correctly at $320,000. I spoke and said 325. 325 is incorrect. 320 is correct and reflected in the written committee report.
Thank you so much, Director Kennedy. Can we please make sure that the record reflects the corrected verbal salary to now reflect $320,000?
We have a motion to amend.
May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Director Barnes,
Second.
second by Director Coles. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Need a motion to approve the interim executive director's salary at $320,000.
There's a motion on the floor. Moved by Director Kennedy,
Second.
second by Director Cole. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Next on our agenda, let's move to our action items. Special Counsel Grinstead, please proceed with Resolution R-061-2025 regarding the declaration of vacancy for Council District E.
That's great.
May we have a motion to approve Resolution R-61, 2025, declaration of vacancy for District E?
Even though that's my friend and I want to defer it, I'll make the motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved by Director Dr. Scholas and seconded by Director Barnes. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
Information items.
Absolutely. So we have several information items that have been included in your director's report. CFO, March 2025 report, GSO, April 2025 report, legal, April 2025 report, safety, April 2025 report, HR, April 2025 report. There's a FEMA, April 2025 report, and the EDBP, April 2025 report. Are there any public comments?
No public comments.
Excellent. If there are no other matters to come before the board, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved by Director Barnes, seconded by Director Cole. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.